Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last episode, we talked about what this channel is going to be and what it's about. In this episode, we're going to talk about me and what I'm about. There are many things that make up who I am, but I'm going to limit it to 5 things. First one being music, second one being media, third one being sports, fourth one being family, and fifth one being faith. So let's start with music. Music has been such a big impact on my life. It's helped me through many bad times. It's helped me through a lot of good times. It's helped me frame my mindset, in a sense, if that makes any sense. I've limited my favorites to these top 5 artists/bands. First one, Linkin Park. Second one, Shane and Shane. Third one, Skillet. Fourth one, Red, and fifth one, Imagine Dragons. These music choices all have different messages that have helped me over the years, or even recently. I've struggled with depression for most of my life, and that'll be a story for a different video, but these artists, the music they produce, have helped me get through some tough times. Majority of the list is Christian, but that's intertwines with my faith, and my faith is the strongest cornerstone of my life. That's helped me through a lot. The reason why Linkin Park is number 1 is because they've always been there ever since I started listening to music many years ago. Whenever Hybrid Theory came out, it was the first album I listened to from start to finish. It was the first thing to draw me into music. The only music I knew were the church songs that they would teach you in elementary school and the private Christian schools, which was Jesus loves me, this I know, and other things of that nature. Linkin Park has a direct 180 of Christian music. However, the way I look at music is through a Christian perspective, and the songs that sit close to me is the ones I can use in a biblical way, such as Good Goodbye, which is one of their newest ones. You can do What I've Done. You can also do No More Sorrow, but that's a little extreme. But just the way they shape their music is very different from other rock bands, and it's always struck to me as the best music I've ever listened to. I know that's up to debate for other people, but to me, they're my number 1 choice for that reason, and I think they've cemented themselves at number 1 forever, especially after recent history of what happened. Now, Shane and Shane is a Christian contemporary band that I got introduced to over this past summer. Whenever I went to this one church, their music was always playing, and it just really dug into my brain, and I just really got used to their style of contemporary worship. And it was really interesting just hearing how they did, It Is Well, Oceans, Great Is Thy Faithfulness, how they mixed hymnal-based worship with contemporary worship, and just the songs you hear on the radio, how they do things. It was really nice to hear a different change of pace. Now for Red and Skillet, since I was raised a rockhead, I'm going to call it that, rockhead, they were the Christian versions of what I would listen to. And Red just released a new album that I've fallen in love with their version of the Sia song Unstoppable. That will never leave my head, plays every day. And then Skillet, Feel Invincible, Monster, Hero, Awaken Alive, just all of their songs have also been great. Now, I've only listened from the Awake album till present day, so I know nothing of the Comatose album till present day. Anything before that I haven't listened to. But I'm sure it's still good. I just haven't had the time, plus I'm lazy to listen to other things. And then Imagine Dragons. I don't think there's a single person I've met who doesn't like Imagine Dragons. Their most recent song, Believer, basically is my fight song. That and Warrior, that was featured prominently in the Wonder Woman trailers over the summer. Just their songs are, I guess, the alternative band I would listen to. I don't know what they are technically, so if they're not alternative, I am sorry for offending people that love them to death. It's just a different style of music than what I'm used to, and the messages they sing through their songs is really nice to listen to. On to the second thing, media. Now, what I mean by media is video games, movies, and cartoons/anime. Yeah. The ones I'm going to stick to the most for this segment is Kingdom Hearts and Dragon Ball Z. Now, Kingdom Hearts, that game was probably the first series I ever got into seriously. That was the one I was a devoted fan to. That was the one that captured my heart, pun intended, not intended. The one that really spoke to me. And growing up, it was one of those games that I loved because I was a Disney fanatic growing up, because that's how my mom raised me. It was just a great blend of Disney and original characters that I would soon find out come from Final Fantasy, and is the reason why I love the game even more, because Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, 13... even though 13 hasn't been in the series yet. Sorry, nerding out for a second, but just the Final Fantasy series itself is really good, and just Kingdom Hearts and captured both Disney and Final Fantasy put together. And as I got older and knew more about both sides, it really struck to me as this is a great, great game. And the message of light and darkness and the heart, that made me understand Christianity a little bit better. I typically say it's the reason why I am a Christian is because that game has been so cemented in my brain and my heart that it made me more open to the concepts of the Bible and how it was easy for me to believe in the Bible, because I understood what it meant to love somebody, how to distinguish what's good, what's wrong, and just knowing what I feel inside. Now for Dragon Ball Z. The only reason Dragon Ball Z has been also firmly implanted in my head is because the concept of getting knocked down and getting right back up stronger than before, that theme is the main reason why Dragon Ball Z is, I would say, is popular. I love Dragon Ball Z to death, don't get me wrong. However, you can't power up much more before it gets ridiculous. Like right now, people who follow the series intently, like I do, it's gotten out of control. But just that imagery of fictional characters getting down and getting back up stronger than before in a more creative sense, I would say, in a more abstract sense. Like us as humans, you know, we get knocked down, we get back up. Yeah, we're stronger internally, sometimes externally, but mainly internally. But them, it's like internally, mentally, externally. It's just, it's crazy to watch that show. And the reason why I love it so much is because that message of when you get knocked down, you can get back up stronger. That's what's helped me through life. Because, again, suffered through the depression for a while. Being able to see fictional characters, being able to bond with that has been really good, and it's really helped me a lot. And I've seen it help other people too, just gain confidence in themselves. It's really spectacular what that show has done to some people that I've seen. And that's the main reason why media is a part of my life, is because the different ways you can do media through movies, games, cartoons, anime, music can be even added into that. Just how you can spread a message through different types of imagery and people can connect to that really makes what I want to do that much more important to me. Because, again, I want to help people through that. just because I know how powerful it can be if used correctly. Like, I've seen 13 Reasons Why, I've seen To the Bone, I've seen how you can talk about these serious subjects like suicide, depression, anorexia. You talk about these things, and you can just understand the concept better because you're seeing an image, you're seeing a picture of what it looks like and what to look for. And that's what I want to do with my life, is to do that kind of things that other people do on Netflix, in the movie theater, on a console. Make stories that people can connect to and are better because they have something they can connect to and relate to. That way they know they're not alone. They're able to fight whatever they're going through by believing that they're able to do anything. And as crazy as that sounds, it's amazing how much that helps. Even if you think it doesn't, it can. And that's why I am so focused on that. On to the third thing, football. Whenever I was in the 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, that was my sport. It was the catalyst to gaining self-confidence in myself. Yes, it's a very violent sport, and it's not made for soft, squishy people like myself. However, due to my determination to get better and the constant yelling from coaches that would turn out to be very helpful, it's the reason why I'm as strong as I am today, I would say. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Being able to learn what teamwork means, what a brotherhood means, what being stronger, not just physically but mentally, means. It's great concepts that have structured how I act the way I am today. And it was great for a while. And then 10th grade, I suffered a couple of concussions that made it to where if I continued on that route, things would not be good. And I was looking at mainly potential brain damage if continued any longer. And it was only at that, for a short amount of time though, I came to realize. But just the fear of being that close to something very serious made me stop football entirely for the rest of my high school career. And as soon as I hit college, I just had that yearning for football again. But currently I work as a cameraman that films these football games, so I'm not technically out of football. I'm on the sidelines, but I'm not out of it completely. Just that sport in general is really special to me, and it's really crazy how intense it gets. Like basketball, that gets super intense. I've seen really intense games from there, but that's from a fan point of view, not a player point of view. I've been a player on a basketball team before, and I may not have experienced that intensive games, but I know what I did go through wasn't that intense. But come football, now that's a different story. I've been a part of close games, I've been a part of destroyed point-wise. We've also been the destroyers a couple of times. But it's always been fun to work as a team to hit a common goal and learning to be mentally stronger because of it. Now on to the fourth thing, family. Now that just doesn't mean the people I'm related to, that also means the friends that I'm close with. The two, I kind of am hesitant to say this, but the two main people that have made the biggest impact in my life has been my best friend and my baby brother. Now, I won't be showing my best friend because I don't know if she'll accept being on here, but I will show a picture of me and my brother here. Now, I didn't meet my best friend until I started college a couple years ago, and I have been forever changed because of that. And she helped me realize things about myself that I didn't think about, things I didn't even believe. But she is very stubborn, and she's kind of like me in some ways about stubbornness, and she helped me see more about myself than I thought there was to be. She believed in me, and my entire family have believed in me. My friends, my teachers, everyone has believed in me more than what I've believed in myself. And having that constant voice right there is like, hey, believe in yourself, you're better than this, you're stronger than this, you're stronger than you realize. Having that one voice and the others behind her, but her stronger than everyone else's, has been really nice and has just changed me forever. And I'm super thankful for that. Now, my brother, again, I'll talk about my full depression story at another time, but what got me out of there from the deeper end of depression forever was my brother being born. I can't explain to you what happened exactly. I just know that as soon as he was born, everything just seemed better. Every dark thought that was in my head disappeared. Everything was brighter. I had, I guess, a parental moment. Because I've heard other stories of parents whenever they had their child, everything changes, and that's completely true. This changed my life forever. And, you know, for the first year of his life, most of the first year of his life, I was there as kind of the main caretaker for a while, just so my mom could work and my stepfather could heal from his sicknesses he had. But just being able to take care of a child has really opened my eyes and taught me how to love somebody and accept love unconditionally. That was a different concept for me. Never really experienced that. I mean, yes, you have your parental love, but that becomes very common to you. And so having a different person come in that loves you unconditionally without even knowing who you are, but just accepts you for who you are anyway, because you're there, you care about them, so they care about you in return. That really helped me see better of myself, helped me realize better things about myself. Because negativity was a big factor in my life for a good portion up until that point when he was born. And just when he was born, the whole, as cliche as this is, the whole world got better, and the sky was bluer, the sun shone a little brighter, everything changed forever at that moment, and it was one of the best moments of my life, being able to be a big brother for just a short while. Now on to the last thing, which is the most important block of my life, which is my faith, which is God. I cannot begin to describe to you my experience with God, because most of it doesn't make sense to the normal person. Most of it has just been a lot of external things that just happened. Whenever I had depression, I was kind of suicidal, but every time that it got that close, something stopped me, and I never knew what it was until I was a freshman in high school, where I was at this, I'd say church retreat, but it was like a school-wide retreat, because I was at a private Christian school at this time, so we had these retreats once a year, and something was just bugging me. Something was slowly eating away at the surface, and then as the evening kept going, it got stronger, that thing that was eating me alive, and it got to the point where I just couldn't control myself. I couldn't stop crying for a while. And I haven't had the best, or I haven't had the perfect life, and there's been a lot of pain in my life, and at that point, most of it that I had gone through, I bottled up. As at that moment, the entire bottle just exploded. And I didn't know what to do, and luckily I had a friend there who was very wise beyond his years, and still is. He's either about to be a pastor or is a missionary. I don't know what he does for a living. I just know that he is very in tune with God. And without him, I would not have been able to recognize what was going on and being able to accept, God into my life. And after I did that, things didn't instantly get better, but things started to be more understandable. Things that I didn't see as wrong and unhealthy turned into, hey, you need to stop these things. They're turning wrong and unhealthy. And it was just the junk I had in my life slowly became present. And it wasn't until I was a junior in high school that it fully got present to where I needed to drop the load of garbage I had on my shoulders. And it wasn't until this year that I found out I had a lot more that I didn't even think was garbage. I thought it was okay to have some of this garbage, but it wasn't. And just the reason why I haven't been very specific about these things is for a different story for another time. But just the depression, the things that spawn from the depression, the addictions, not drug or alcohol, but other addictions like food and pornography, those things that for a while I didn't think was bad, slowly turned into, oh, hey, this is very unhealthy, this is very bad, we need to stop this. And just that realization that there is something out there that loves you more than any of us could know. Again, none of this would make sense to, a non-believer, because this is all faith-based of what I've said. And there's a lot of biblical background that could support what I'm saying, but the truth is, I'm not the best Christian, but I know that God is real, and I may not be able to defend that because I'm not well in tune with the Bible just yet, but I know for a fact that God is real, and God has been the biggest supporter of my life. I would not be where I'm at today without him, because there's nothing that I've done in the past 20 years that I could have done by myself. There was always an external factor that helped, even if I didn't have family help, friend help. Whenever my mentality went bad, there's no factor that I could think of that would make my brain snap from instant negativity to instant positivity within seconds. And I thank God every day for everything he's done for me. Even if I'm not the best Christian, I'm still learning, and I'm still doing my best to be as good as possible. And that's the reason why being a pastor is very important to me, and why I want to help people through media. I want to show God through the media. I want to share this story, the full story that I'll share one day. The full story of me, just shown in different ways. Things that are relatable to people, things that people need to hear and can't hear because there's something around them that's trying to block their hearing. I want to be able to help others, either through this, through being a pastor. I'll be a missionary and go help people physically as well. I don't care what I do, I just know I want to help people. And while that's the biggest factor behind this channel, that's also the biggest factor behind my story. So thank you for listening, and I hope that some part of my story helped you in some way. I know I didn't share a lot of details. I just shared more of the makeup of me. One day I'll share the background of me, but I didn't want to get that heavy just yet. And I just know that someone out there loves you, even if you don't feel loved. There's always someone that loves you. And if you believe that, your perspective of the world becomes better. And as negative as the world is today, it doesn't have to be. Because if we can come together and show each other the love that everyone deserves, instead of hatred, the anger, politics, if we just get rid of that for a while and just love each other for being people, because that's what we're supposed to do, is love each other, not because of any other reason other than, hey, you're a person and I love you because you're a person. If we could just do that, I think things would be better. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next week with a new video. See ya.